Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something that I think keeps a lot of people up at night, career anxiety.
For sure. But
Yeah.
we're looking at it through this lens of, well, total clarity.
Exactly. We've got a source here. It's a visual roadmap from a platform called PadhaiOn, and it lays out the entire journey to becoming a psychologist in 10 steps.
It's fascinating, really. It treats a career path almost like an engineering problem.
How so?
It takes that big, vague idea of, I want to help people, and just, turns it into a concrete timeline. And it starts right at class 10.
Which is, that's arguably the biggest pain point for so many people. The source even calls that stage the confusion phase.
It is, and most of that confusion is just about the streams, right? That classic high school dilemma.
Yeah, which one do I pick?
Exactly. And this is where the roadmap gives its first, I think, major insight. There's this myth that you have to be in the science stream.
Oh, right, that you need biology to understand the brain.
But the source just flat out debunks that.
So the entry point is more flexible than people think.
Completely. It doesn't matter if you pick the art stream with a focus on humanities or the science stream. The roadmap shows how both can funnel you right into psychology.
So it's less about the label.
And more about building the right foundation. It shifts the entire focus.
And that foundation, that gets built in class 11 and 12.
Yeah.
The roadmap has a great phrase for this. It says, this is when you learn to read human behavior.
Yes. That's the shift. You go from just, passive learning to active observation.
So you're not treating anyone yet.
No, not at all. You're just learning to look at the world through a psychological lens, mastering the basics.
Okay, so you get through high school. Then comes step 5,
Yeah.
the bachelor's degree,
Mhm.
a BA or a BSc. And this is where I think people imagine just, 3 years of textbooks.
And that's a huge trap. The roadmap is so specific here.
What does it say?
The bachelor's phase is not just about getting the degree. It puts this massive flag on the idea of exposure.
You mean practical work?
Yeah.
Internships.
Yes, exactly. It lists internships at counseling centers, NGOs, even schools, as basically a requirement during your bachelor's.
Wow, so you can't wait.
You can't. The insight is that you don't learn empathy from a lecture. If you wait until your master's to actually interact with people in a professional setting, you're already playing catch-up.
That is a crucial point. So the BA is for exposure. What about step 7, the master's? The MA or MSc? Is that for specialization?
It's for depth. And research. The roadmap's tone sort of shifts here. At the master's level, you're getting into case studies, you're building real professional confidence. This is where you pick your lane.
And it highlights 3 specific buckets for that, doesn't it?
It does. Clinical counseling and educational psychology.
Clinical's the one everyone thinks of, right? Working in hospitals.
Right, but it frames educational and counseling as these equally important, distinct paths.
What I find really compelling, though, is what comes right after that. Step 8 is just called skill development.
That's my favorite part of this whole thing.
It lists communication, empathy, ethics.
Yes. It's an acknowledgement that you can have all the degrees in the world, but if you lack that human element, especially the ethics of care, you're not a psychologist. It treats soft skills as hard requirements.
So the journey ends with this student finally in the workforce at a clinic or a hospital, and they've gone from that confused kid in class 10 to a successful psychologist.
And the whole message the source is driving home, and it credits PadhaiOn's mentorship model for this, is that the gap isn't just filled by hard work.
It's guidance.
It's having the map.
Yeah, turning that anxiety into an actual plan.
Exactly.
It really makes you think. So here's a final thought for you to take away. If you're feeling overwhelmed by your own career path, is it because the work is actually too hard?
Or is it because you just don't have the map?
Something to consider. Thanks for diving in with us.